So Katie Ledecky, the winner of the 400 freestyle. She was also the winner of the 200 freestyle, trying to add a third individual event for her Olympic schedule. Next to her here in heat number 5, Sierra Runge in lane 5. She was 5th in that 200 freestyle, and as we mentioned earlier, we are waiting for official word and announcements on the 5th and 6th place people for the relays, as well as 2nd in all individual events. So not officially on the team for any of those 2nd place people or the 5th and 6th people in the relay events. But Ledecky already a body length lead as she approaches the 100-meter turn, as she just pulls away from the field. And you know, she does this at the international level too, 58.8 on the first 100.
It's craziness. Like, I don't even think I swam my 200 out that fast, to be honest. But you know, like I said earlier, I feel like in some cases, I hope it doesn't throw these girls off their game. You know, I think that it's hard to keep your mindset, your strategy when you have somebody that is that far ahead of you as you race Katie. But these girls have a lot of experience swimming in the 800 free, and another great heat as we go through these last two heats of the 800 free.
You know, you talk about being thrown off your game. I think that there's nothing's a guarantee, nothing's a shoe-in, nothing's for sure, especially in sport. But you know, she is currently over 7 seconds ahead of the 2nd fastest performer of all time in this event. So I mean, her world record is 8:06.68 is her world record time. Rebecca Adlington, the previous world record holder in this event, is an 8:14.10 from back in 2008.
Just goes to show you how dominant she is in this race, and every time she gets in the water, she really puts on a show in this event. And I don't know, I've never asked her if it's her favorite or not, but I bet you, I'm guessing to say it probably is.
You know, she set the world record in this event last summer in Kazan, Russia. Coming into that event, she held the world record from 2014 of 8:11 flat, and that was just done at a little meet in Texas, I believe, that she set the 8:11 flat. In 2015, she went 8:07.39 at the World Championships, and when she finished that race, you know, she had so much emotion, and you don't really see her show that emotion, but she was banging the water, and she was, you know, pointing up to her coach Bruce Gemmell, and she was pretty excited with that time. And then in January of this year in Austin, she goes 8:06.68. It's unbelievable to watch, and it's quite exciting just to be even like around at this time to watch these kind of performances.
She's definitely changing distance swimming across the world right now, and she's really just making it a sprint event, and people are they're gonna want to beat her. They're gonna have to step up their game.
Yeah, and no one's come close. I mean, when you look at those World Championships last summer, you know, she won an 8:07. She was more than 10 seconds ahead of 2nd place, which was Lauren Boyle from New Zealand, finishing at 8:17.65. You know, we mentioned Rebecca Adlington, the former world record holder in this event. Her 8:14.10 is now the 10th fastest performance of all time. Ledecky has the 9 fastest performances ever done in the 800 freestyle. She turns here at the 400, 4:05.43, and it looks like she's shut it down just a little bit here. You know, 4:05.4, she's over 2 seconds off her pace from the world record in January, and it's not very fair to say, you know, she's off her pace, because, you know, she's just trying to get a lane for the final, but we've always expected so much from her every time she hits the water, and it probably is a little unfair. But, you know, this summer, again, we've said it earlier, she's trying to add this event to her schedule, and then she's going to head down to Rio and definitely be the favorite in this event.
Yeah, she does look like she's slowing down a little bit, and I think that probably makes Katie pretty uncomfortable. I think she's so used to swimming as hard as she can the second she enters the water, but I think we talked about it earlier in the week, where she just needs to pace herself. She has a lot of races. She's got the 100 freestyle tonight, so maybe that's part of the game plan, is kind of get the lead and shut it down a little bit, because she does have to swim again tonight. And so I think that it definitely looks like that's part of her part of her game plan, and I have a feeling it makes her a little uncomfortable. So we'll see how she makes out tonight.
You know, it might look like she's shutting it down, but she's still splitting 31-1 on that final 50, almost a full second faster than the rest of the field on each of the last few 50-meter splits. So, you know, still shutting it down, but still swimming pretty fast here in this women's 800 freestyle. The one record that is still on the books that does not belong to Katie Ledecky is the long course nationals record time that has stood since 1988, 8:17:12 by Janet Evans, the great Janet Evans, who was here last night watching the events. You know, it'll be interesting to see if Ledecky claims that here either this morning or tomorrow.
Ledecky flashing a little more speed now. She comes down with 30.9. Approaching the 600-meter turn. Controlling the field here now by about 15 meters.
At the 600, 6:09:89. So unless she really shuts it down, she's going to be well under that long course national record that's been held since 1988. Ledecky will get the bell lap on this next turn.
Katie Ledecky approaching bell turn.
So once again, that long course nationals record time, 8:17:12 by Janet Evans, way back in 1988. Looking to go down here in this morning heat session. You know, that record was set March 22nd, 1988. Ledecky was born March 17th, 1997. And she's picking up the pace here on the final 50. It's going to be another record for Katie Ledecky as she sprints the final 10. Working on her speed maybe for that 100 tonight, but an 8:10:91. I think she maybe wanted to get under the 8:10 mark, and you know, she knows exactly where she is at all times. 8:10:91. That's a new long course nationals record time, dropping 7 seconds, almost a full 7 seconds off the existing record that had stood since 1988. That time, 8:10:91. Lindsay, the third fastest 800 freestyle performance of all time. And we were talking about how we thought she was slowing down in the middle of the race.
I was like, and it was probably the easiest 8:10 I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. She's going to be pretty special tomorrow night.
8:10, you know, she's already making her way to the side of the pool to climb out, and she looks very fresh after that 8:10 in the 800 free. Second in the heat was Ashley Twitchell, and third Sierra Runge. As we look at our top 8 times, as of right now, we do have more heats coming up at the end of the session, but right now it is Ledecky followed by Smith, Twitchell, Anderson, Vrooman, Runge, Peacock, and Sierra Schmidt currently in 8th spot at 8:32:46, just ahead of her North Baltimore Aquatic Club teammate Becca Mann, who was 9th in 8:32:92. So we'll keep an eye on those times. And Lindsay, any final thoughts on that 8:10 point by Katie Ledecky as she makes her way off the deck?
I think it'll be really fun to watch Katie swim tomorrow night. I think that there's probably no words to describe what she can do, what she has the potential to do, and I think that she is going to, if she doesn't show us anything super special tomorrow night, she'll definitely show us something super special when we get to Rio.
Next event will be the men's 100 butterfly. This is heat 1. We'd like to thank Lindsay Mintenko for joining us here this morning, and good luck with the rest of the selection throughout the next few days, Lindsay.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. Have a great afternoon.
Nathan Lyle, 53-51, winning heat 1 of the men's 100 butterfly. So Sam, the women's 800 freestyle, 8:10.91, and Lindsay Mintenko and I were talking about how she looked like she was just taking it easy in the middle of that race, and she posted the 3rd fastest performance of all time.
Yeah, it never feels pedestrian, but it sure looked pedestrian. And wow, I mean, the pressure's off Ledecky at this point. She has, been able to get some work done for the most part on the events that she wanted to get done as the guys wrap up the second heat. This is Sam Wilcher at 54.84. Continuing that thought on Ledecky, she's still got some work to do, depending on what she decides to do over the next 24 hours, but at this point, it's right in her wheelhouse to just polish off this meet and style. I thought Leah Smith was outstanding, and I think she's got more in her. Nice time drop from her seat. Ashley Twitchell, I've seen Ashley's swimming through many of her spring meets, even going back to the Open Water Championship. She's looked very good coming in. Haley Anderson, the veteran. But I don't know that anybody's going to overtake Leah Smith for second. Leah Smith would have to fall down, I think, not to pick up second in this race. Ledecky is obviously going to do what she does. So hopefully these ladies can get up there and challenge them, but I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, Ledecky is just in a field all on her own, not just here at home, but internationally as well, as we're now set for Heat 3 men's 100 fly.
Michael Salazar leads the way at 24.98 out of lane number 9. 18 years of age, out of Ohio State University and HSA. Push here by Michael Jensen of Upper Dublin. And in lane number 7, that's William Pisani of Club Seminole. Salazar in lane 9, picking up the win at 54.26. Pisani was second at 54.5. So the 53.51 holds up for Nathan Lyle out of the first heat. This is heat 4 moving out. Punching through the 50, Jacob Huerta, 25.18, representing Coastal Bend All-Stars. Now Taylor Dale, Athens Bulldog in Georgia, accelerating off that turn. And Taylor Dale, 53.76. That is the second fastest time we've seen. Heat 5 in the water. Andrew Marsh of Club Wolverine at 24.92, followed by Kevin Mendoza at 25.19 in lane 6 for Gaucho Aquatics. Field now reeling in the leaders. Good energy down the stretch. Looks to be Noah Lindsay of Tampa Bay. Gets his hand on the wall at 53.72. Second fastest time we've seen. Nathan Lyle, Heat 1, still on top of the rankings at 53.51. Hit 6 moving out. And for you folks that have maybe joined us late in the webcast, I'm Sam Kendricks along with Chris Heinmarch-Watson providing commentary. We've had some special guests this morning along with Garrett Weber-Gale and Lindsay Mentenko providing some nice insight here. We hope to have another guest coming up during the two-back. We'll let you know if that develops. Also, folks, you can pick up a heat sheet at usaswimming.org. Just go to the Olympic Trials tab in the upper right-hand part of the page. Pull down the tab and find the event info link, and you'll find that and lots more to help guide you through the remaining days of the Olympic Trials. Good closing speed here. In lane number 4, Michael Miller of Duke, 53.32. So Miller with the fastest time thus far. Kyle Higgins was second at 54.60. So nice swim for the young man out of Duke University and Dad's Club in Houston, Texas. So your top 3 right now, Michael Miller at 53.32, followed by Nathan Lyle at 53.51, and Noah Lindsay, Tampa Bay, 53.72. Staging now for Heat 7.
World and American record in this event, a 49.82 held by Michael Phelps. The U.S. Open and Long Course Nationals record time, 50.22, also by Phelps. This is one of 2 events that Michael is the 3-time reigning Olympic champion, including the 200 individual medley, winning in 2004, 2008, and 2012 at the Olympic Games. You know, Sam, this is the event a lot of people remember from back in 2008 when Michael won the event by 1/100th of a second over Milorad Kavic in 2008 in Beijing. It was quite the finish that had a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, at the time, it just resonated across the world. Every media outlet, you didn't have to be a sports fan to appreciate the magnitude of that story because it kept the streak alive for Phelps. It was so dramatic. Came down to the last stroke, the last inch of the race. The video in the end upheld it. As we look here at this heat, it was Stuart Harrison winning in 54.07. The other thing that really resonates with me personally was I can remember being with friends watching that on TV and their reaction, not my reaction because my reaction was just like everybody else, but watching them go absolutely insane. They turn themselves inside out with excitement, and they still talk about that with me to this day. People that, I mean, literally they know nothing about the sport other than I'm the swimming guy in their life, and they just constantly bring that up.
Next up we have heat number 8 in the men's 100 butterfly.
You know, Chris, thinking also about that race, I think that image, that underwater video image of Kavic and Phelps reaching to the wall, I think that'll be one of the most iconic images in our sports history from this point forward. You know, 50 to 100 years from now, I think they'll look back and they'll say, what was swimming like back then? And that'll be one of the images and one of the stories of this era.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Phelps can only add to his legacy if he was to go on and represent the United States in this event. He's got to get through the heats, the semis, and the finals and finish in that top 2 position. But he's definitely, you know, coming in as probably the favorite to do that and possibly go on, maybe win his 4th straight gold medal in the event.
Good speed here out of 2 guys. Chatham Dobbs in 1, Stephen Tan in 8. At the touch, it will be Chatham Dobbs at 53.63. That looks to be our 3rd quickest time thus far. This is heat number 9 in the water. Well, at this stage of the game, Chris, we would expect these times from the early heats to begin to go down. Got some very experienced butterflyers coming up. Again, the fastest time we've seen, Michael Miller's 53:32 out of heat number 6.
Nathan Lyle's time from heat number 1 still right up there in second spot at 53:51. We'll see how long that lasts near the top of the leaderboard in this men's 100 fly.
John Chevitt leading the way for Nation's Capital in Texas at 24.68.
Top time in heat number 9 as they come to the wall is Steve Yem from lane 8, 53:42. Yem representing the Pleasant Prairie Patriot Swimming, and the second fastest time of the morning at 53:42, 1/10 behind Michael Miller.
Gentlemen are staging for heat 10.
Heat 10 of 14 underway in this men's 100 fly. Fastest time in the world so far this year, a 50.86 by Hungary's Laszlo Cseh. Michael Phelps currently with the 10th fastest time, 51:65.
And wrapping up their swim here in heat number 10. This is lane 6, Andrew Lang. Stanford 52.65, down from a 53.9. Had it rolling this morning and easily our fastest time thus far.
So just some notification from that previous heat. Lane 2, Mick Litherland was disqualified for a false start.
Heat 11 in the water. Again, we have 14 total, so the last of our standard seeded heats. McHugh leads the way for the Buckeyes at 24.80.
Chase Clark there in lane 5. He finished 6th in the final of the men's 200 butterfly earlier in the week.
Great race here in heat number 11. Several guys battling for the win with nice closing speed. It's Bryce Bowman, Club Mountaineer out of West Virginia, 53.37. A nice drop for him. We'll drop that time into the rankings here, and that will put him into the number 3 spot overall. Heat 12 moving out. Lane 4 is Jack Conger of Nation's Capital. 5 is Matthew Joseph, Swim Matt Carolina. And 3, David Nolan of North Baltimore. And in 6, Michael Andrew, Indy Swimming.
Andrews had a good meet here so far here at the Olympic Trials. His top placing was in that 100 breaststroke earlier in the week, where he finished in 4th spot in 59.82.
Matt Joseph's got it rolling here for Swim Matt Carolina as Jack Conger gives chase. Conger's got some work to do here. Matt Joseph takes a peek over, it looks like, at about 10 meters. And he's got it won easily, 51.61. And that time by Joseph will crack the world top 10, dropping him into 9th in the world. Nice swim by Matt Joseph. Jack Conger at 51.80.
Next heat number 13, second to last heat, you'll notice Tom Shields in lane 4, Ryan Lochte in 5, Giles Smith from the Phoenix Swim Club swimming here in lane 3. Tom Shields finished 2nd in the 200 butterfly, still awaiting confirmation that he will be named to the team in that event, as are all 2nd place finishers so far. Next to him in lane number 5, Ryan Lochte, qualifying as a member of the 4x200 freestyle relay.
And the guys build to the 50. The early lead will go to Will Glass, 24.41, representing City of Mobile in Texas. Second was Aaron Whitaker at 9 next to him from Michigan. Crowds behind him now as Tom Shields begins to break away from the field. Shields has had a great meet here. Gutsy swim on the 200. Has shown a lot of good speed.
Yeah, Shields has looked really strong as he comes into the finish. Head down to the wall, will touch in 51.72. Second fastest time of the morning with 1 heat remaining. Ryan Lochte second, 52.66. That'll put him in 5th overall with the 1 heat remaining. So those guys both are qualified for the semifinal in this event. Giles Smith right now a 52.83, currently sitting in 8th spot. Michael Andrew 53.25 in 9th, and Kyler Van Swal in 10th at 53.26. as the swimmers in the final heat, including lane number 4, the world record holder and 3-time reigning Olympic champion 04, 08, and 2012 Michael Phelps coming up in heat 14.
You know, Chris, he's got his place secured there in the 2 fly. He's been very relaxed. I think we've talked about this on numerous occasions, but he really is very mellow at this meet. Normally he's pretty wound up, doesn't really want to talk to many people. He'll do his interviews, do his thing, but behind the scenes he's usually just off in the corner doing his thing. Here he's been pretty much open-minded about the whole experience.
Just a different perspective for Michael. You know, as you said, he qualified in that 200 butterfly, his 5th Olympic Games, which is just impressive any way you look at it. And you know, he's here with his fiance and his young son Boomer watching alongside, his mom up in the stands as well. As they come into the first 50, the leading time will be lane number 6, Seth Stubblefield at 24:06. Phelps just picked it up there as they now head into the final 20 meters. Phelps trying to chase down Tim Phillips and Seth Stubblefield. Again, just trying to get a lane for the semifinals in this event. And it will be Tim Phillips, 51.68, winning the heat ahead of Stubblefield, and Phelps touching 3rd in the final heat. Phelps ranked 6th there after the heat session. Tim Phillips with that time of 51.68 will be 2nd. Stubblefield in 3rd. So your semifinalists, led by Matthew Josa, Tim Phillips, 2 swimmers from Swim Mac, leading the way with 51.6. Seth Stubblefield, Tom Shields, Jack Conger, Michael Phelps, Caleb Dressel, and Andrew Liang, the top 8. Ryan Lochte is 9th, David Nolan 10th, Will Glass, Giles Smith, Carl Weigley, Michael Andrew, Kyler Van Swal, and Andrew Sansusi is currently in 16th spot, 53.28. Should be a great semifinal there, Sam. No real surprises. I think people were pretty comfortable just to get a lane, and you know, Phelps just did what he needed to do this morning.
Yeah, there's no pressure there. He never swam a hard stroke. Everything was under control. I thought Tom Shields looked very good. Good race strategy by him to kind of see how he's feeling on his 100. Matt Josa, a guy that's really been training hard out at Swim Mac Carolina. In fact, 2 Swim Mac guys on top of the rankings. Caleb Dressel with a nice effort there. So all in all, lines us up for an outstanding semifinal that we'll see tonight.